Hey guys, how you all doing? Today we're gonna talk about microscopes. This is the first video of the channel. We were gonna talk about everything related to microbiology in detail. Today we are starting with microscopes, and the upcoming videos will cover everything about microscopes like their types, information, and many other terms related to microscopes, so that at the end of the series about microscope everything will be crystal clear in your mind. Okay, so moving ahead with the today's lecture, we first of all let's know what we're gonna talk about everything in microscopes in the series in upcoming lectures, like the microscopes, what are microscopes, their significance. History is not that important, but like that's how we start with every topic. Units, which is damn important when you're talking about microscopes, because if we are seeing some images and we are not able to appreciate the length and breadth, it's of no use. Types of microscope, the light microscope, and in light microscope we have dark field, bright field, phase, contrast, DIC, fluorescence microscope. Don't worry, everything will be gonna covered. And when we I have put all the names here so that you can get familiarized with the names of the microscope, and so that when we are dealing with them it's not a big problem, as you will be like something you must have heard before. Scanning probe microscope is another microscope. In most of the books, it is given as atomic force microscope, but let's make it clear that scanning probe microscope is one of the microscope that has the type of atomic force microscope. Depending on the changing of something or the other, it becomes atomic force microscope. So this is all we're gonna study in the upcoming series. Today we're just going to deal about these things which are very important when you're talking about microscope. What is microscope? Theoretically, if we just say there are two lenses, one is objective lens and one is ocular lens. Objective lens is near to the object, and ocular lens is near to the eyes. But there are also some exceptions which do not cover any of such lenses, like atomic force microscope. The second thing that we have to need to that we need to know about microscope is that they can magnify small objects. That's why they are called microscope, and which are basically the objects which are not seen by human eye. Like we cannot see atoms, we cannot see bacterium present in milk, curd. We cannot see fungi present in the batter of dough and all. We cannot see them, but when we put slides of such samples under the microscope, we can see all the microorganisms, and that's how they help us to magnify small objects. Now they can be of various types, as we have talked about, like there can be light microscope, phase contrast, fluorescence, and confocal. There are many types and they have great magnification. Like when we are saying magnification, we're going to talk about magnification and resolution, the two mostly confused terms, but just let's make it simple here. The magnification ranges of microscope from 40x to 20,000, sorry, 200,000 x. Now when we are saying 40x, 200,000 x, what that really means, it simply means when we are saying a microscope has a magnification of 10x, that means the microscope is magnifying the object by multiples of 10. Okay, and when we are saying 40x, it simply means magnifying the object by multiples of 40. That means 40x image will be highly magnified as compared to 10x. And we were saying 2 lakh x, that means it is highly magnified. Okay, so that's all we need to talk about microscope. Moving ahead, now, when I said it is not always important that microscope will be having lenses, first see the microscope having lenses. Now see, here it is your eyepiece and here is your objective lens. It is near to the slide and it is near to the eye. But of course, you cannot see here the microscope. You can see one here, but there's objective lens is not visible here. See, light microscope, transmission electron microscope, one of the type of electron microscope. The image is upside down as compared to the previous slide. So see here, we have ocular lenses, we have objective lenses, right? So lenses are there in microscope, but see here, it is atomic force microscope which I mentioned as an exception. There's no lens over here. It's photodiode, some laser beam, slide, cantilever, but there's no microscope. All the images will be seen in some kind of computer form, but there's no lens. So it is not always important that lens will be there in microscope. It's just that most of the time, most of the microscope do consist of lenses. I hope I made myself clear. Now see significance. With your unaided eye, you can see yourself in a mirror. You can see person around you. You can see your friends. You can see hands. You can see fingers. But you cannot see when we say that there's some bacterium or bacteria present in the milk. You cannot see fungi present in the batter. You cannot measure thickness of your hair, right? So with the light microscope, we can magnify small objects like hair. We can see bacterium, we can see cell. But what if we want to dig deeper into the cell? What if we want to see what is inside the cell, like the nucleus, the granules, and many other things that are present in the cell? Then you go with electron microscope. It makes the images more clear. It makes us to visualize viruses which are not at all visible by light microscope, macromolecules, atoms. So these all of them will basically electron microscope will help us to see even smaller objects which are not seen by light microscope. Okay, so that was the significance. This thing again talks about the significance of microscope. Do not just worry about these units. We're going to talk about the units later on. But see here, with unaided eye you can see, I mean, like, I'm sorry, you can see till here, like the ticks, human heart. If you take out the human heart out of the body, you can see a dog. With compound microscope you can see bacterium and all. With scanning electron microscope, transmission electron microscope, you can even dig deeper into the organisms and can see nucleus and can see atomic molecules, the atoms, electrons. You can see many more things which are not possible to see, which are not visible by light microscope. um, so that's how we have, magnified most of the things with the help of microscopes, and we have understood most of the things with the help of microscopes. Again, the same slide talking about basically this is light microscope images, that how you're gonna see bacterium under light microscope, protists, amoeba in the light microscope, plant cell, animal cell. So see, I want you to look here as how much details are you getting from the slides. You can just see the shape, right? You can see something spiraled over here. You can make out that it has really no shape. You can make out that animal cell doesn't have cell walls, so they are like irregularly shaped, but plant cell have cell walls, so they're regularly shaped, right? But can you make out different specific etches of images? No, right? uh, but see here how clear the image it is. Let's talk about this image first. Can you tell me what image this is? It's coronavirus image. You can see how clearly this protrudes are visible of the virus. And this is pollen grain. You must have heard about pollen grain in your high school. So pollen grain is so specifically defined in the electron microscope, and that's the power of a microscope which uses short wavelength. Now I specifically use short wavelength because I want to know that with short wavelength images are more clear. Why, how, we're going to talk about it later, don't worry. Now, history and units. Anton van Leeuwenhoek from Holland, uh, basically his family was kind of intrigued seeing little microorganisms, so he constructed some kind of microscopes that gave magnification of about 100x, 100 to 300x, which is kind of powerful for that time because that was the first microscope that was made. And now the problem with those microscope, that was it was difficult to focus. Instead of changing specimen, what he did, because he cannot focus, it's difficult to focus them, so what he did, he made many microscopes and placed many specimens over them and placed them like in his lab. So around 419 microscope he constructed and saw many samples as much as possible for him. And so he became the first person to see microorganisms. For a longer period of time, he was considered as a he was considered as a father of microbiology, but it's no more because there's so many things discovered in microbiology that it seems like unfair to other scientists if we call him as a father of microbiology. But he was actually the first person to see the microorganism, first person to make to thought of microscopes and to make them. So this kind of a microscope, it was look like for him, like it is a tiny pen-like structure over which he placed his sample and seeing the sample with his eye like this. And so this is microorganism that he is able to see with the focus of the image. So that's all I really wanted to know. That's all I want you to know about history of microorganism. That is just that Anton van Leeuwenhoek was kind of a person who came up with the thought of microscopes, and he started seeing some microorganisms. From there, we started, looking into the world which is not visible by eyes. Units are very, very important in any field. If you're talking about, let's say, in real life, when you're saying, give me one milk, what do you mean by this? Give me 1 liter of milk makes some sense. Similarly, in microbiology, you have to take some units, but since microorganisms are so small, you cannot take meter as a unit. Why? We can see here, like if I'm saying the length of the bacterium is 1 micrometer, okay, what simply it means that the length of the microorganism is 10 to the power minus 6 meter. Now what again it means? It means the length of the microorganism is 1 million times smaller as compared to 1 meter. That's how small the length of the microorganism is. So every time when we are saying 10 to the power minus 6, it means 10 to the power 6 times it is smaller as compared to 1 meter. So nanometer, the conversion is 10 to the power minus 9 meter. 1 angstrom is basically 10 to the power minus 10 meter. Remember these conversions. It's kind of important. And like when we see one of the slide in this lecture only, I asked you not to look at those numeric values. Now you can go back and you can see those. Now you'll be able to understand how small the viruses are as compared to bacterium, how small the atoms are um, as compared to like other things. So just go back, see those things, see the slide again, pause the video and see it. How can you appreciate the length of everything? How can you appreciate the size of viruses, bacterium to viruses, atoms to nucleus? Like just try to understand that part. The unit part will be crystal clear. Do it. And moving ahead there's nothing more in this lecture. Thank you so much for hearing me out, guys. And don't worry, all the microscope will be covered in the upcoming lectures. So stay tuned, follow me for more videos. Bye bye, take care.